Sorry about that. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nexus Gaming Series, DB Smiley. Um, there was just music for a while there because I hadn't started casting yet. We're just now getting into the match here. Um, make sure my delay is on. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. So NGS Season 12. It has been a while since I casted, so looking forward to casting once again. As we have here, Death and Delay versus Clouded Minds Unleashed. Now, should be noted, Death and Delay going through some changes here this offseason. You can see lower in the standings is a team Meat Old Men. If you're not familiar with Death and Delay, their original team was dead. They've also created Sis, Souls in Slow-Mo, and now they have Mean Old Men, Mom. That is their play, which I like. I think that's really clever. So had a couple of players leave to form Mom, MZ17 and Huckett, which were their healer and offlaner respectively. But here we go. Now jumping into the draft. I'm a little hot. Let me turn me down a tiddly bit. See if that helps. Definitely give me feedback on the sound. It's been forever since I've casted, and I've moved my computer around a lot since then. Let me actually close my door here so I don't drive my wife insane while we jump into the draft. And Clouded Minds Unleashed won the coin toss just to show they chose to ban out Sky Temple and D-Shire Dad, banning out Alterac and Volskaya Foundry, a map that I miss very, very dearly. Clouded Minds Unleashed chose first pick, so Dad taking us to the battlefield, which is most eternal. As we jump in. So the question will be, what is Dad gonna ban? What is Dad gonna ban besides Zagara? Because they kind of have to ban Zagara. Zagara is, what's the phrase I would use? A subtle phrase that politely conveys, oh right, she's fuck busted. She is fuck busted. So, there's the Zag ban. Now, Clouded Minds Unleashed is a team that has a lot of players who are particularly known to be strong on some specific heroes. And we'll see if Dad kind of keys into what some of those are. And to be clear, when I say this, I'm not at all saying this in a way that is meant to be negative to... I do not know why the right side of my screen is cut off. That is bizarre. Huh. Let me correct this here. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened with that, Jason. I caught it at the same time you did. Greymane going to be the first pickup, getting that Immortal Burn. Straight into a Varian Li Ming. Thank you for the bits, Tiger. So both teams getting a lot of Immortal control, but with that Varian, you already are looking at a pretty aggressive comp here on the side of Death and Delay. You gotta think they're gonna want some kind of healer like Stukov, like Malfurion, someone with follow-up CC. Seeing the Anduin grabbed. Anduin is kind of an interesting counter choice to the Varian. The reason I say interesting is that it is very good at saving one person in a team fight. But Anduin really lacks burst healing significantly, and that can be a problem. You know, you kind of have to almost think about Desperate Plea at level 7 just to get some additional burst healing. Maybe even look at a Salvation play if you can ensure that the taunt does not get onto Varian himself, or get onto Anduin himself. But it's an interesting father-son trade-off there, as we see the Stukov banned out, and Joanna. So Lucio is a very strong healer, but The hesitation that I have with seeing a Lucio picked up here is that he doesn't have good follow-up CC, which when you have like a Varian Li Ming, you really want some more CC. But of course, as I say that, Ripper goes and grabs the Arthas, which is certainly going to help control the Artanis and the Greymane, as well as provide that root follow-up to ensure some juicy combos. Might need some type of disengage. There's ETC, that's good. Alright, I like it. I like this, I like the ETC pickup into the Varian. ETC himself can be blown up a bit, but they have, he has that face melt, which can definitely help peel the power slide counter engage. Also going to make it to where he can boot people off of Arthas. Or a boop off Arthas off of people, I should say. Well, Falstad coming in. Come to think of it, yeah, that might be... Well, they had a Li Ming. So maybe the Falstad is meant to kind of be a flex solo laner. That way they could maybe move Falstad to the solo lane if they want to try to set up kills with the Arthas variant. Maybe that's the play. Be interesting to see. I kind of would have wanted more of something like a traditional auto attacker to help kind of burn down ETC a bit, soften him up. But we'll see how that plays out overall. So, again, taking a look at the maps. This map choice does in fact belong to Death and Delay. As, pardon me, we jump into this game. Clouded Minds Unleashed winning the toss, choosing first pick, and first pick really strong right now because of the strength of that Zagara. So, with that, we will go ahead and jump into the game. Let us go ahead and let's introduce our two teams. On the left side, it is Death and Delay, all lowercase letters, show respect. Gonna be Top Gun 707 on Falstad, Mac Daddio on the Li Ming, Delta Sniper on Lucio, MDC on Varian. And it's going to be Ripper, former coach for my team, formerly known as Deckard's Erudition, on the Arthas up in the top lane. And over on the right side, it is Traxix going to be on Artanis up in the top. We have Smork Killer on Jaina, Robot Wizard on Greymane, Denied is going to be on the Anduin, and the Dude on ETC. Let's take a look at those level 1s. I've been seeing a lot more smooth moves out of Lucio lately, losing some of those safe talents here at level 13. Slip got a significant nerf. Now you only get the armor after you slip. Here goes ETC on a power slide. They're trying to chunk down Arthas. Arthas, of course, very vulnerable before level 4. Don't quite have the damage to get the finish, though, at this point. I expect to see a lot of battling over those globes. Both ETC and Jaina needing to stack globes here as we move into the game. Up in the top lane right now, looks like pretty even up here, as is usually the case. Nothing interesting happens in solo lane until someone dies, and when that happens, the caster always misses it. So, yeah, we if you're not familiar, my team has name changed. We are now Fick. You know, we're just here to fick around. We're just a bunch of fickers. And if you don't like it, you can fick off. So, but we're hoping to fick up some teams in Division B Southeast, which is the division both these teams are in. So, actually, my team is scheduled, well, is on the calendar, not on the calendar yet, but will play Clouded Minds Unleashed next week as we look. So far, pretty safe plays. Decent globing here, though. Already 5 globes from Jaina and ETC. But as Greymane and Anduin move to claim the Bruiser camp a little early, taken advantage of here by the members of Death and Delay. And I like this move, you know, getting that siege camp despite having a, I'd say a structural disadvantage in this set, or at least before level 4, I should say, with Varian being in the position he's in. Good power slide attempt, but a good dodge there by MDC. Now trading some damage here. Falstad looking like it's going to be coming in top lane. Artanis is going to see that, though, and so nothing Nothing yet really happening. No threat. Falstad just coming up to clear that bruiser camp. ETC power slides in as the rest of the team was rotating away. So not really any follow-up damage. We'll see how the objective positions. It's going to be red attacking the bottom. So they do have a pretty big advantage, already having their damage ready to go. Some hesitation from Dad. Do they want to contest? Do they want to try to fight here? They do have level 4 taunt now, so this is a time where they can get some picks. Right now, 5v4. Here comes Artanis. Greymane has already dove into the back. Needs to be careful of these stuns. Does, in fact, get caught by the Immortal stun. And now ETC on the run. He's taking a chunk of damage. Ooh, but a good Blizzard is also making sure that Ripper takes some damage. And actually, the rundown here, Lucio having to possibly intercede some damage there. Falstad and Li Ming going to move up to the top, get to work on that tower there. Excuse the camera work for a second. Artanis is alone. There's the top, and here comes ETC. Varian actually now down to about a quarter health. The chase is on. I don't know if Varian's going to be able to get out of this. Smart Killer definitely wants to chase that kill, but CMU getting an advantage here in the Immortal race. They find halftime. Their Immortal's still at about 3/4 health, so working out nicely for them. Offensive burn positions here. We'll see if that Greymane Jaina can maybe close this gap a bit. They certainly won't win. Now they actually burn pretty well. They get it down to about 20% health there. But a good Bruiser Camp tag on the side of Death and Delay. Not going to be contested here by CMU. They're going to send Arthas to the bottom. The rest of the team will rotate top. Varian is a little bit low on health and mana. Something to be cognizant of. A little bit of an aggressive rotation here from Mac Daddio. Surprised DTC didn't look for any kind of punish there, but I guess the rest of the team really wasn't in position to follow up. Cleanse, bringing ETC over the wall. That will be down. And when you're Varian, you really got to watch for that Anduin cleanse. Now you know you can be a lot more aggressive, especially when Anduin really lacks any burst healing options. And so now, Varian on the flank. Nobody on the side of CMU biting on that bush. They want to keep eyes on this top camp. Always a contested point after the first objective. On the other side, Falstad is actually going to head down. Start working on this bottom camp. So 3v4 up in the top right now. We'll see if CMU is able to recognize that or not. Right now, playing very hesitantly, playing very slow, and looks like Anduin's actually going to come down here and try to maybe help turn and look for a gank on this Arthas. And actually, Arthas does get swapped in, but here comes Falstad now. Is Ripper going to be able to get out of this? No, gets rooted. Falstad does grab the camp. Ooh, and that is a Storm Leak Anduin cleanse there. Like, no, you need to leave. Like, no, you're gonna die. Leave. That is... That's what that is. It was the right call. I want to be very clear. I just mean, like, that's one of those... I've done that where I'm just like, look, you had, like, tunnel vision. You needed to leave. Which, in fairness, Artanis has a hard time running away, of course. Doesn't have any mobility going out. Only has mobility going in. It's always a tricky balancing act there. Dad gonna take the top camp. Top Bruiser has been picked up right before the objective. So these two camps should mostly neutral out. Slight advantage to the Bruiser if given enough time. But the big advantage here is over to CMU. Just getting a ton of burn. As defensive positions, this is going to encourage a fight. Neither team has level 10 yet. Slightly closer on the side of Dad. You're seeing Arthas work on picking this up below. Looking now for the trickle, you would imagine, but this is giving time for CMU to close the gap 10. Dad now has level 10s. Starting to lock it in. We see the Mighty Gust, Artanis in the back. Is actually just going to rotate down, try to find level 10s. We have the sound barrier rather than the high five. Bit of a surprise to me. Syndragosa. So this is possibly wanting to kind of all in of sorts with an objective. That said, the objective going bottom, the rest of the team has gone top. In fact, all 5 members of Dad going top, which means they have no one down here to get the soak or to push with the objective yet. Right now it looks like Lucio running down alone. Here it is, the DB Smiley Storm League experience. Healer, the only one capable of soaking lanes. There we go. Okay, they have now rotated down. It is a 5 defense, though. Here comes the taunt. There's the Mighty Gust trying to separate out ETC. Here comes the Light Bomb, now looking for the Mosh follow, potentially. Falstad gets isolated, though. Went aggressive for the Dive Gust and got punished for it. Now, Arthur's having a hard time escaping, and he is going to go down. CMU just relentless on this pursuit. There's a swap onto Varian. The dude is a little bit low, but they get the 3-for-0 kills. And so despite losing 2 objectives right now, up 4-1 on the kill count, and now with an XP lead, they are going to go ahead and just go for the Bruiser Denial, which is what this is here. This is, you're not going to get really anything done with this camp. You're just denying the enemy team to get it later on when it could get more value. Especially with your bottom wall down, that's going to be important. Looks like Artanis now is going to run top, pick up that soak that is currently being left on the cold, cold ground. Is it really cold ground? Because that's kind of hell, right? This is literally the burning hells. I don't think that's the cold, cold ground. Nonetheless, Varian doing the Bush Scout. Dad wants this bottom camp, but CMU hovering around. They have not directed any damage at the camp, instead just looking for an opportunity maybe to catch someone out who overextends. Both teams approaching these fights very patiently. No one wants to be kind of the first one to initiate, because both teams have such good counter engage. Cleanse, sound barrier, blind, etc. And so you kind of get these standoffs where the teams are standing in bushes, they know where each other are, and they're kind of just doing nothing. That said, Dad gonna forego immediate burn onto the objective, trying to open up this bottom lane. And, something to be cognizant of. If CMU wins this objective, the Immortal will definitely go to bottom lane. So anything you can do to push the lane out there is going to pay dividends if that happens. We are seeing a burn here by Dad. They're closing the gap, but actually Greymane is the last one to reach the point, so this could be close. I still think CMU manages to win this one, and they do. And should note, of course, that Jaina and ETC have finished their respective globe quests. Looks like they're going to leave Falstad top for the time being and send Arthas down. So we talked about this as a possibility. Trying to get some additional CC here. Right now, poking down the Immortal. The Immortal shields are down, so it goes into melee mode. Makes it easier to kill. But keep in mind, it's also eating tower shots for the time being. So long as nobody on the side of CMU damages any enemy heroes, it will stay that way. And that fort should fall to minions, and it does, and CMU just going to be able to walk away from this. So, despite 2 objectives going over to Dad, the first structure of the game does, in fact, favor CMU. That said, CMU is kind of just walking away from this bottom, and, Syndragosa says, hey, you don't have a bottom fort anymore. So, a little bit of a, muscle memory is like, okay, objectives down, let's get what camps we can, and try to control top lane. But in doing so, they lost that bottom fort, so they lost that catapult advantage that they otherwise would have had. And now, effectively, neither of these 2 camps in the top lane doing anything, as CMU kind of all backed and nobody really pushed up with it. So you know, they spend the opportunity cost to get those 2 forts or get those 2 camps, but they managed to not really get any value off them, and in the process, again, lost the fort. So now pressuring up with 5 up in the top. Dad, very aggressive here, rotating as 5. They are down a full level on the way to 16. With that, there's the taunt, looking at ETC. Root comes in, catches Anduin, but I mean, Death and Delay have been up here with 5 for a long time, and they had no one picking up this soak down in the bottom. At this point in the game, down a level, to me, that's a questionable macro decision. They weren't going to get that fort. At least they weren't willing to commit for it. Now looking for a 3v5, potentially. Now here comes the full engage, but Li Ming is very low. Sound barrier going to come out, but now Ripper is kind of isolated from the rest of the team here. Ripper is about to go down, and it looks like CMU using that level 16, about that huge advantage. There's the solo mosh catching onto the Falstad. And halftime has been reached, but already 2 kills over to CMU. And meanwhile, I mean, there's 2 Katas now in the bot lane. They have already softened up this wall in the bottom. So Death and Delay, I think, needs to at least approach the rest of this game much more traditionally with a macro. I think if you're gonna try to 5-man, you have to push in and take the structure with it. And failing doing that, you just gave up a ton of soak for no purpose. So this is what we talk about a lot with kind of opportunity cost. Every second is an opportunity that you have to do something with, and if you do nothing with it, then that's just a wasted second. That's XP you're not getting, that's structure damage you're not getting, whatever. And so if you're going to 5-man commit somewhere, you need to make sure you're getting value. For example, if you're going to 5-man commit top with the Immortal, at this point in the game, you expect to get a keep. Now, Arthas has picked up level 16. We'll see if he backs to join. No, he's actually mounting and running. There's the Mighty Gush trying to buy space, but this keep will absolutely go down all the same. So now the question is, Cinderghost tries to go in to cut off the back. Ripper now onto that Jaina on the back line, and ETC is actually going to be the first to fall. This could be an opportunity to turn around for Dad. They find the kill on the Greymane, and now onto the Anduin as well. So this is the opportunity Dad needed. Stayed a bit too long on the side of CMU. At this point in the game, you have to ask if, you know, once you know the keep is going to go down to the Immortal, the question you have to ask is, are we going to go core? And if the answer is no, leave. Because, you know, there's nothing you're going to accomplish further in that lane. And I think, you know, that's just a case of staying a bit too long there. Both these teams, though, making really good engages. As we saw, you know, Syndragosa kind of forced everyone forward. And then that Arthas on the back line just causing a ton of problems. So good engage there by Ripper. But now all the camp's going to be picked up here by Dad. Now they are down 2 structures. Something they're absolutely going to have to keep in mind. Bruiser camp right now being grabbed by CMU. And going to run down and clear bot lane. Possibly seeding this fort up here. They thought, I guess maybe they thought that Dad had maybe someone on that siege camp, but nonetheless, I mean, this is now top fort going down. So gonna equalize that pressure a little bit, but still a full level lead for CMU. So Dad in a position they want to look for a fight now, and you can see they're looking for the gank. Are they going to be able to catch someone out here? The ideal target is the Anduin. They don't get onto the Anduin there. They instead get onto the ETC. There's a swap. Mosh gets interrupted. Delp the sniper in a bit of an awkward spot, not able to escape. Here comes the light bomb with the Artanis Zealot charge, and that is going to help secure another kill. ETC, or excuse me, Arthas and Anduin going down a bit earlier, but the chase down on the Falstad and the Greymane as well. I don't know if Mac Daddio gets out of here. I don't know if it matters. Looking like that should be the game. Artanis certainly going to be able to bring a fair amount of siege damage, and of course also Greymane does a little bit of siege damage, I've heard. So this should be game number 1. Heading over to the members of CMU. Although Smart Killer's low, this isn't over yet. Li Ming, she can maybe get a kill. Nope, tracks his turn, says, alright, look, we're done. And that will be map number 1. So, CMU looking really strong there. Only in my mind had that one miscue where they stayed a bit too long up in the top lane, but otherwise thought played it well, played it very well. 12 to 5 kills. Seemed that at critical junctures of the game, they always got really big advantages. So CMU definitely played that very well. I think, as I kind of think about it, I think Dad maybe gave up a little bit too much for free in terms of macro. Just trying to go for these 5-man big plays that didn't really do anything. So we'll see if they can maybe... I am out of focus. There we go. See if they can maybe improve that coming back here in game number 2. We'll see what happens. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. All right, welcome back to Nexus Gaming Series, everyone. DB Smiley here. By the way, I'm still in the same house as I was when I was last casting. I just moved from my basement up to a bedroom office, just so I can close the door and keep the cats out, because working from home was driving me insane. Hopefully not going to have to do that again too soon. I'm trying to figure out a good place for my camera. See how that goes. But after game number 1, Clouded Minds Unleashed, looking overall the much stronger team there. Death and Delay made some good macro decisions in terms of taking structures when they had opportunities, but they also, I think, spent a lot of opportunities they otherwise could have had soaking, kind of just standing around waiting to see if they could get a structure. And I think if they clean that up in this game, make sure they maximize soak and get some structural power, that will work out in their favor as we head here to the towers, which are most doomful. Towers of Doom. Just waiting on the teams to be ready here. Map where the current meta very much is have a very strong double soaking soul laner, something like a Zul, something like a Leoric, Malthael. Malthael and Zul very, very strong on this map, as well as Leo because of their ability to double soak. Although Leo, not until level 4, which puts him at a slight disadvantage relative to the other two. But you want to make sure that you have someone who can reliably double soak. As I take a swig of some delicious beer. Here's what I'm drinking tonight. It is Grateful, which is from which brewing company? Star Hill Brewery, which is a local here in Charlottesville. I used to live in Philadelphia about 2 years ago, moved to Charlottesville. I have loved every second of it. It is just a beautiful place to live. So here's the thing. No, you can't, because eventually this is going to be a kid's bedroom. That's the goal. Finally, shout me out. I sat in my own diarrhea last night to win a semifinals without a pause. What semifinals? What semifinals are you talking about? Was this like the CCS community shit? I don't know. And also, Peanut, no offense, but no, you can't draw on my walls because you're gonna fucking put your watermark all over everything. Um, no. You fucking live in Michigan, right? I don't know. Anyway, he probably is not happy that I said that. Sorry. It's a big enough state. There's a couple million people there or something, some shit like that, right? All right. Looking like okay. We have the all clear. So we're jumping into Towers of Doom, Clouded Minds Unleashed up 1-0 in this series. We jump into the draft.
Of Doom.
By the way, if I put any stats up during this draft, just fair warning, all of those stats are from Season 11, because, of course, we don't have any stats for Season 12 yet. This is the first night of Season 12 action. I have not compiled meaningful stats yet, so go ahead and jump into this. Death and Delay. Gonna go ahead and ban out the Anduin. They're finding that those cleanses were a bit problematic for them. Light Bomb maybe as well. A couple really good Light Bombs in that fight. So getting rid of the Anduin now. Zagar gonna get banned, and this is the problem, and this is why this game needs to be patched so bad. Second pick has to ban Zagar right now, because Zagar is like, what, a 64% win rate or some shit? It's just ridiculous. She does way too much damage right now. Azmodan gonna get banned. That is definitely a macro-oriented ban here. But with that, Asmo lets you kind of, if you get a lead, it lets you shell game the enemy team, where they have to spend all their time recapturing structures that you destroy, and you just kind of shell game them, keeping them converting their own structures back, while you gain control of the map, gain control of sappers, etc. Vala gonna get banned out. We're gonna see Delta Sniper jumping onto that Brightwing right away. Was banned in the last match. Greymane coming right back in. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Brightwing definitely was ascendant last season. Much more popular than had been in a while, in fact. As see, the ETC grabbed again, so grabbing two heroes that worked last time. Greymane and the ETC. No real change, nothing new under the sun. And my Stats of the Storm is not working, so that's fun. Hey, there we go. So yeah, Brightwing, 54% popularity, huge climb last season. And then we see the Rag. So again, Rag, one of those heroes that you normally don't see a ton of, but because, there's some ability double soak, but it's not as good as other heroes. The Lava Wave can certainly help to an extent. Mac Daddio jumping back onto that Li Ming. Kind of surprised by that pick. I do know that you often want to kind of get into poke wars on this map, and certainly the Ming can help with, punishing ETC Mosh and things like that. But it just doesn't seem to synergize super well with the other two picks in my mind. I don't know. Take a look at those Rag stats from last season. Stukov going to get banned out here. Rag only 6% popular and only 40% win rate last season. Did get some changes, I think, to Meteor build in the interim. So we'll see if that's what's on the menu. Could also be trying to move Ripper to something more tank-focused and maybe flex MDC to something else. We'll see. Or Ripper could be doing Assassin. I don't know the composition of these teams. There's Gul'dan for the wave clear. And Anna. So it's a good synergy. Anna able to make Gul'dan actually do damage before level 16 with Nano Boost, as Gul'dan is very, very much reliant on his level 16 talents by default. Of course, Horrify is always one of the best ults in the game, but There's the variant again, and there's the Sonya. So triple frontline here into this ETC Gul'dan, and there's the Murky, which I actually definitely saw coming. I'll just leave it there. Murky was going to show up on this map. So Sonya will at least be able to do some damage, be able to clear the waves quickly, be able to kill the pufferfish fast, which is a big part of what you want to do here. But I really like this comp coming out from Clouded Minds Unleashed. They're basically going to have a lot of Murky double soaking. Pardon me. A lot of Murky double soaking. While the 4-man just basically grabs camps and shoves. Gul'dan, always very good in shoving. Not as good in sieging. Doesn't do the best structure damage, but that's where the Greymane comes in. If you're able to get some minions under tower, it's going to do quite a load. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the game here. And we'll go ahead and introduce the teams. On the left side, it is Death and Delay. We're going to have Top Gun on Ragnar's, Mac Daddio back on the Li Ming, Delta Sniper on the Brightwing, MDC once again on Variant, and Ripper going to be playing Sonya. And on the right side, here in the 4-man, we're going to have Smart Killer on the Greymane. Actually swapped it up on me a bit, and I didn't catch it. Robot Wizard is going to be on Gul'dan. Denied on the Ana. The Dude on ETC. And up at the top, it is Traxxix Murky. So, level 1s. We do have that bribing Murloc. Right out of gate, Sonya is going to run up to the top. Now the rotation's coming down to the bottom. It is 4v4 at the moment. Neither of these soul laners rotate, although Murky, as I say that, Murky now making the rotation. ETC is very far forward. Good sleep dart to prevent the lava shield from chunking some damage onto the ETC. Rag did go with the lava shield level 1 talent. Otherwise, everything... actually, Aether Walker from Li Ming's bit of side. MDC going to take some chunk damage. He is more vulnerable now than he will be post level 4. Of course, not just getting the taunt at level 4, but getting just a heap load of raw HP. And right now, Sonya still focusing this top lane. Murky going to work. Here comes Top Gun onto the mid. Does kill the pufferfish, which just killing that pufferfish to 9 bribe stacks, of course, is going to be very valuable. We'll occasionally need to check in to see how many bribe stacks that Murloc indeed has. It's possible that the Rag was picked up in anticipation of the Murky. Ooh, Top Gun, though, getting isolated there and just absolutely gets chunked out. Takes tons of corruption damage from Robot Wizard. Well-placed corruption there. Gul'dan, by the way, is going Drain build, so a much more single-target focused build. Of course, it does not provide any benefit to siege damage, but really good PvP talent. Once you get it stacked, that's the key. Yeah, just a note on those things, Skycake. It is, you know, it is the team's responsibility to call that out if they see it and want to address it, but they have a 2-minute time limit to do so. So, I can say that, frankly, at this level of play, I don't see issues with that Li Ming skin, but, yeah, that could just be me erring on the side of caution. I don't tend to point such things out. So Murky is gonna actually... Ooh, I like this play. Potentially looking at the left side. Okay, they're actually gonna seed... This is a pretty common play these days. Give both the top objectives and focus bottom lane. It's pretty common to see The key, though, is you have to have that internal clock in your head, knowing when to get out, and it very much worries me that Anna's still here. Well, Anna and Gul'dan have, let's just say, not the most mobility of any hero in the game. ETC, though, with some good face melts by face. Smart Killer is going back in to Taunt Varian. Must have been very confident on timing Taunt Varian's cooldowns. Did manage to get out, so ultimately, I think a net win here for Clouded Minds Unleashed. Remember, it's really all about this bottom lane on this map. Excuse me, sir, it's Motherfickin' Smiley. Please pronounce my team's acronym correctly. Thank you. Here we go. Still just hovering around the bottom. Murky and Sonya doing the dance of the double soak. Right now, Siege Camp is available on the CMU side of the map. Just came up on the dad side of the map as well. Murky doing a good job soaking. Sonya's actually looking like they want to kind of rotate Sonya and Rag here. Ooh, Gul'dan is in a bit of a sticky wicket. Power slide through, though, to buy space, and then Gul'dan with the Drain Life, actually turning this around fairly well. Ripper is, oh, he is going to get popped. Really good rundown, and the corruption damage just doing so much. MacDaddio going to need to blink over the wall. Blink comes up just in time. Starting to get a bit nervous there. Taunt onto the Greymane, taking tower shots. Smork has a health left, but manages to survive. And Robot Wizard wanted MacDaddio there, not quite able to get the finish. Smart Killer is going to channel a bot, though, and this will equalize the overall score at 32. All three siege camps currently available. But the XP lead is favoring CMU by about, call it 60% of a level at this point. Yeah, we're just a bunch of fickers. We're just here to have a freaking good time. You know, don't try to fix us. Alright, well with that, by the way, hashtag free our algorithm, or, wow, algorithm. Hashtag free our, acronym. I'm tired tonight. Rag came up, flinging onto the Murky. Some good wall damage coming in here. Sappers go in. The tower drops. They're going for the solo mosh. Emerald Wind now comes out with the leap. ETC gets polyed. He is going down, but so is MDC. And actually, the heal's coming in fast enough. There's the Nano. And they turn around onto Sonya. So, oh, now Delta Sniper's in trouble. Going trying to back, but no, the poison damage enough that Brightwing not able to get back in time. And so with that, huge advantage heading into this double objective phase for CMU, finding 2 more kills here. And gonna use those to convert into potentially 10 points here. Could be looking at a 32-22 game. Love that they're leaving ETC and Anna to defend. They need to be careful of a flank through the camp space. Gul'dan is channeling and is actually isolated here. This is ooh, they needed someone a little bit closer. We don't have the Lava Wave, by the way. We do have Sulphurous Smash, so, you know, maybe, if anything, I think Gul'dan could have been okay. Maybe just standing in a bush, waiting for the team to rotate in. Maybe get the bottom objective, then rotate top. A really good decision there, though, by Dad. Running in and grabbing a kill. They need to reconvert this bottom tower, though. That needs to be their top priority. Varian is going to go ahead and grab that 1 minion, a soak. Now going to be able to work on that. With the Sonya, they'll be able to reconvert quickly. And so now this is where it gets into, okay, if you're CMU, where do you press your advantage? You've lost that bottom lane advantage. Camp timing's not up for 15 seconds. They want to look maybe for a flank onto this bottom lane. Here comes Murky. Murky does have Octograb. So if they're able to maybe get onto one of these squishies. There's Sonya. Oh, the blow up onto ETC before anything could happen. The Octograb, though, does enable a kill onto Sonya. So it's effectively a one-for-one trade, but the nano-boosted Gul'dan is just going to town at the moment. Tons of damage. Not quite able to get the finish on the Mac Daddy-O. Oh, the Devour Smash, though, with the taunt follower. They're going to be able to get Gul'dan. They do not. Gul'dan survives. But, is Top Gun getting out too? No. Varian dies of the tower shots. Good save there by the Ana. And, oh, man, this corruption damage is just starting to hurt. And Traxxas, meanwhile, just snipes a camp with the bribe stack. So, love that. Love the run-in. You know, we have a kill. Let's just quickly snipe the aggressive sapper camp. And they're actually going to be able to walk those in without walking them in. Those do not get stopped. And Traxxas already setting up onto the top. Rag is going to Molten Core to stall out this objective, but that is a Molten Core used to stop a Murky from channeling. You know, yes, it's a smart decision. I want to be clear. If there were no interrupts close enough, then yeah. But, man, that is a big cooldown to use to effectively just interrupt the Murky channel. And CMU now going to be able to walk in these bottom sappers pretty much without any difficulty. Still only, excuse the cam work, still only a 2-shot advantage here. But with that, ooh, the Horrify from Gul'dan separates out, but a bit of an awkward position here. And despite the Emerald Wind, managing to grab 2 kills is Dad. That said, they are under a CMU-controlled tower, even though it's on their side of the map. Bit unintuitive. ETC looking for the back. Sonya goes underneath. She is now going to be taking tower shots, but is she going to be able to get the finish? So far, it looks like she will, and that is 2 more kills. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened there. So you can see Gul'dan was a bit separated, but the Sonya Elite managing to split the enemy team there. And then, you know, Ripper wisely backing up, getting some time to get some degree of self-sustain here before saying, you know what, you guys aren't getting out. You ain't going nowhere. Where are you going? Where are you going? You're going nowhere. Where are you going? Nowhere. You're going nowhere. Back to the Hall of Storms. That's where you're going. All right. Back to the game. Really good fight there by Dad. First opportunity to get on the front foot in this series. Need to be careful, though. Triple objective is up. They do have Rag up in the top right now. It looks like they might just play this safe and play for the channels. They're leaving Rag top. Murky up in the top lane right now. Is Murky going to just go for the safe channel, go for the stalls? Looks like Murky wanting to go for the stalls here. Brightwing going to get this channel, though, pretty uncontested here in the bottom. So now should be an opportunity where Dad can get the lead. If in a worst case, really by 2 shots. And that looks like that's going to be what happens unless we have like a desperate leap to stall. Okay. So Dad is going to have a 2-shot lead when all is said and done here. But the big key is they've equalized their structures. And with that, the objective has been cleaned up, but nobody is actually capping at all. Nobody stood on that camp for like a really long time. They managed to isolate the ETC. The taunt Sulfurous Smash combo is paying dividends. And now Dad looking for the opportunity to push in these stolen sappers. And they are going to get them in. Can they finish the objective? Murky, by the way, here comes the bribe. So Murky just doing Murky things. Just hashtag just Murloc things. Here we go. Rag clean up the mid. Murky, this lane, top lane, is pushed in a bit. And that is, you know, Dad making a good decision right now. There's nothing on the map to fight over, nothing on the map really to do. Let's make sure that we continue to pressure this bottom lane, try to hold on to it as long as we can. Varian probably a bit too far back here, but, ooh. Seeing a rotation away, I think Rag got the memo, decided to run top. But with Rag top, we'll see if CMU tries to key in on this and try to go for a 5v4. It looks like that may indeed be what is happening here. There's the Emerald Wind, though, trying to just buy some space. Murloc is separated in the back. Sonya kind of chasing a little bit. Li Ming and Brightwing should be able to stall this out for a while. Pufferfish comes in to interrupt the Ragnaros. Traxix just doing a really good job being annoying, wasting time. But ultimately team not able to do anything despite effectively a 4v3 otherwise. Because of the power of that structure. But that said, Varian is in a lot of trouble. Cleanse comes in for the Brightwing, gets the spell armor. Oh, did not quite get the Z heal. Good grenade from the Ana. Just felt like a plank second. Plank time too early on the Z. Just like a frame later probably would have landed with the heal. That Ana grenade is actually a big problem. For Brightwing, because there's so much baked into that Z heal. Murloc flanking onto the back, looking to just disrupt minion waves at the moment from the look of it. But top tower has taken a bit of a beating here. Sonya working on this siege camp. Rag is double soaking here, and here's the thing: these structures are low enough that at this point, if they can get some kills, Dad could absolutely 6-cap. Murky going to look for the Octo Grab. I don't think... Brightwing came in with the Z, looking for the Emerald Wind, trying to buy space here. That was actually a really smart decision. There comes the Octo Grab, but not able to get the follow-up there, and I think it was a little bit slow of a rotation there. By the rest of CMU. I like the idea of the Murky. Would have maybe liked to have seen the Octograph a bit sooner if cooldowns allowed it. I admittedly was not looking at Murky's cooldowns. But now here comes the shell game. You know, they have to cap bottom while they can. If they die here, this is devastating. Molten Core comes out. Objective is coming up. Murky is going to go in for the channel, but Sonya will be there to interrupt. 4v4 at the moment in the bottom lane otherwise. And this Molten Core just wasting CMU's time. And now with Murky down, Egg from Murky is all the way top. So that is effectively as close to a reset as you're going to otherwise get. But yeah, I mean, you can see the shell game happening right now. You know, they're just, oh, you want to kill your top? Oh, and they managed to kill the Greymane there. And they still control mid and bottom. So only 6 health left on the core of CMU. They're going to be able to reconvert this bottom. Boss is going to be grabbed, leaving 2 shots on the core of CMU. So next cap wins, and it is a double cap phase. Top left and top right. So big advantage for Death and Delay. Now keep in mind though, this top is also softened up as well. So you know, this game is not over by any means. Murky can run top and just finish up that top fort at any time. That said, top lane nowhere near as strong as the bot lane in terms of looking for ending opportunities. Death and Delay now rotating to the bottom. Rag gonna catch Murky out on that rotation. So 4v4, they're pushing in under this tower. Greymane is now coming back. Emerald Wind used there. Brightwing did take the level 20 Emerald Wind talent. So when you have Z up, you can just, like, Emerald Wind twice, Hearth, Z back in, and Emerald Wind again. Really gonna prevent Greymane from having any fun in the backline. That Emerald Wind 5-second cooldown. That said, only one channel here needed by Death and Delay. And recognizing this, here comes CMU. Looking for the aggressive engage, but this is going to be 45. They're relying on the Mosh, but that's it. The Mosh gets interrupted quickly. There's a leap onto the backline. ETC is about to fall. Sonya all over this backline trying to heal. She is taking so much damage though from the Gul'dan, and that is a kill, but ETC goes down. Oh, but that is a... Oh my goodness, that's a Death Mosh. Are they going to interrupt MDC in time? That's the question. Nobody has gone to interrupt MDC, and he gets the channel through despite the God tier Death Mosh. And with that, we get to go to a Game 3. Wow, what an ending. Oh, let's take another look at that. As, see, Sonya leaps into the back, trying to get onto this Gul'dan, but the Nano Boost, Nano Boost W is a fucking problem. Great, though, Deathmosh there. They managed to kill the Brightwing as well as the other two, but nobody, you know, sometimes you just need to recognize, like, what is the urgency right now? You know, you gotta look past the kills and look to the game. MDC sneaking back and finding the cap. So, well done by them for Death and Delay. And here we go, into a game number 3. Overall stats here. You know, healing numbers are one of the most misleading stats in the game. Anna made a lot of saves early on in that game, but ultimately, just the pressure from the big combos with the taunt into the Sulfura Smash, just you know, enough burst damage to get past anything Anna can really handle. And so with that, we'll head to game number 3. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you all very much for watching. See you on the other side of the break. Alright, welcome back everyone to Nexus Gaming Series. DB Smiley here on our Season 12 kickoff. Trying to get back into casting. It's been hard to do in the last year and a half. I think most people here, it's not like it's hard to figure out who I am in real life. I'm a professor in real life. And I've been teaching online and been having to deal with that. And it's been sucking up a lot of time, so hoping that as we get back in person, I'll have more time for casting once again. But with that, here we go into the draft. Death and Delay. Choosing Tomb of the Spider Queen because it turns out, and this may shock some of you, when there's a 65% win rate hero in the game, most people want first pick. When there's a hero who is completely fuck-busted beyond all belief, like launch Ragnaros tier hero in the game, turns out that everyone wants to pick them. But, as we take a gander, it is going to be first ban. Greymane. So we've seen Greymane be highly prioritized by Clouded Minds Unleashed, picking it in the as first pick on BOE, picking it in the 1-2 rotation on Towers of Doom, opting not to go with it this time though. Instead choosing to ban. So Death and Delay has to ban Zagara. What else are they gonna ban is the question. In this brave new world we find ourselves in. So we're looking at the stats for Greymane last season. Dipped off in popularity a lot, only down to 27%. Greymane used to be consistently like a 60% and above assassin. I mean, there were seasons that he was like 90% and above not that long ago, but really kind of dipping down a bit as the meta has gone more towards a lot more focused on last season. I would say it was a lot more focused on poke. It was a very pokey meta. I think we're getting back to a kind of a bursty meta though, but we'll see. Garrosh gonna get denied. And Brightwing gonna get denied. No moss, they say to the Brightwing. No moss. Well, it's also, I think it's just been a hero they've controlled all night. They Death and Delay viewing the Brightwing pick as first pick, first ban worthy. So it will be denied. It's played very well in that last game. Some really solid Emerald wins. Denied gonna jump straight onto the Anduin. Was banned in the 1-2 last game, but of course, since you have to ban Zagara, you know, you only get one ban if you're Death and Delay in this situation. But that said, Anduin is not really a power pick to me. Not something, especially on a wave clear heavy map, not something I look at that like you have to pick Anduin here. This is a map where Uther is very viable because while Uther struggles with sustain healing, you're in the lane so much, getting so many globes, it's not as big an issue. So I'm kind of surprised to see Anduin grab that early. Maybe it's a hero pool thing. But we see the Tassadar, great wave clear and pick potential, as well as the Stukov. And an early Stukov invites exactly what we just saw, which is a Diablo, as well as Hanzo with the Dragon's Arrow. I have been called a Stukov one-trick more than once. And I think right now he struggles. And I think he struggles because there's a lot of CC in this meta. And if you go into Diablo, there's a lot of opportunity for fast kills. And even if you don't engage onto the Stukov, unless they have like a weighted pustule already on the hero, until level 16, that person has a good to fair chance of just dying. Throw in Dragon's Arrow, it's another problem. Now, post 16, once you get Super Strain, different formula altogether. At that point, you're arguably a hard Diablo counter. But, you know, building talents for 16 is not the most reliable strategy in the world. Sonya going to get denied, not wanting to deal with that. But there is the Tychus to respond to the Diablo. Pretty standard response. And there is a noob. So a noob was much, much more popular last season than he had been in a while. As you went to more of like a poke meta, but with some burst in it. And so a noob, 14% popularity, that is still low, but it was a lot higher than it's been. It was all the Tychus in the meta last season too, if I recall correctly. Last two picks coming in, it's the Gazlo and the KTZ. Alright, so Kel'Thuzad, one of those win harder, lose harder heroes. Actually, this is a really good setup for Kel'Thuzad. There's a lot of setup CC here. Now, that said, only a 35% win rate last season did KTZ have. So we'll see if that that stands. And there's Johanna. So looking like a double tank setup here. Now Johanna can absolutely solo lane on this map. And I guess it's just to have someone who can pressure the KTZ without having to worry about maybe getting insta-deleted. But, no, there's a lot of CC on the other side, so I guess they wanted something that was CC resistant. They do have a lot of damage potential with the Tassadar and the Tychus. But that damage... There's not really, like... That damage is kind of like, okay, assuming we're going with the task build where you have like the Qs with the W, the goal is to lock a target down and blow them up with the Tassadar Tychus. And so they're very reliant on a noob CC for that, because Johanna's not going to bring a ton. So definitely a little bit low on damage outside of the damage dealers. And the damage dealers, however, are both really good, so it'll be interesting if they're able to maximize the value of Tychus. Tychus, of course, going to have to worry about that KTZ, about the Gazlo bombs. If you stand still a minigun, you're going to end up with an explodium charge under you. You're going to have to figure out how you want to deal with that. So it's going to be a really interesting cat and mouse game, I think. A lot of potential to kill front to back on the side of Death and Delay, but a lot of potential for quick blowups on the other side, especially into a Stukov healer. I mean, this is kind of the way I'd want to try to counter a Stukov. A lot of potential for quick burst, quick engages. You know, you get a good chain out of the fog of war from KTZ. You can get some kills off that. But right out of the gate, a noob getting a bit separated out, going to be able to burrow charge on out of there. As we take a look here. Still hanging around and kind of just stacking KTZ at the moment. Anduin has run top. Once again, the DB Smiley Storm League experience. The healer, the first to rotate to clear the lane. By the way, I am the healer in that situation. I'm just clarifying that I think it's the right call. Health bars right now definitely favoring the side of CMU, but Dad still being aggressive all the same. That's it, KTZ already up to 8 stacks, and we are a minute and 9 stacks. minute 10 seconds of the game, and oh, Tychus may have overcommitted. Just like a teensy bit of an overcommit. Just a little bit. 11 stacks already, my goodness. Down here in the bottom. Ripper gonna help come up, clean up the mid. Maybe look for an engage onto one of these people. Oh, good flip there onto the Stukov. Good target focus. There is the reactive ballista spore popped by Delta Sniper. Gaz, meanwhile, has cleaned up the bot lane. Ripper going to come down. Not going to miss any of the big soak, and that's the key. Here we go. Ooh, there's a task wall. Good cleanse out from Denied. And almost half stacked already on the side of KTZ. And now is half stacked, so 15 stacks there. Got the Glacial Spike now already here at only 2 minutes into the game. It's gonna be gonna become a problem, especially again because with a Stukov healer, you are going to be lacking in burst healing. You know, Super Strain, that's gonna help a lot, sure, but that doesn't come to level 16. And that's a long time to wait on Tomb of the Spider Queen. If you lose a bad fight in that 10 to 16 window and drop a lot of gems, it's really hard to come back from that. Ripper is taking on trades into the gas at the moment. It is not being incredibly advantageous right now. Oh, and up here in the mid, KTZ actually getting picked out. So that'll be good, getting that kill. Stopping the stacking at 16. MDC gonna get in the first gem drop of the game. Healthy 17 gems. Neither team with a turn-in at the moment, but one gem now with a turn-in available is Death and Delay. Ooh, Diablo tried to go for the flip over the wall and almost paid the iron price for that one. But with that, Top Gun gonna drop. A lot of gems getting popped in here. McDaddio did get the channel, so only 16 gems need to be turned in. Johanna is holding 20. No one else on Death and Delay has more than one at the moment, although MDC now with 3. Ooh, there's the Glacial Spike, though. Looking at the Anub, Brute Follow was just a hair slow in order to find the Anub. Tyke's going to grab these gems here. Still no turn-in available on the side of CMU. And CMU getting pushed in a lot here. Ripper is rather low at the moment. Need to find a way to turn Ripper in. Looks like they're going to try to buy some space. Hanzo Arrow, of course, always a very valuable tool on this map. Looking for the interrupt. They do find it. Now looking at the gas potentially, there's the task wall. Great cleanse there from Denied. Absolutely stellar couple of cleanses the last 2 times saving people. Denied making some really good decisions with that Anduin. And there we go, Joe getting the drop of those gems. And right now, Joe's staying in the top lane. We'll see if anyone goes away, or if they've kind of fallen. No, okay, they are sending Joe down bot. Shouldn't miss too much soak. Here's the focus, though, on the top, and there is the Glacial Spike CC chain. And there you see what I kind of talked about with the Stukov, where he's just going to struggle a lot. And interesting kind of build here with the long pitch with the Vigorous Reuptake. Usually with Vigorous Reuptake, you'd expect to see something more in line of Targeted Excision. That said, Targeted Excision has gotten pretty heavily nerfed, so, you know, changes the calculus a bit. I haven't actually played around with Stukov a lot since the nerfs. Ripper just focusing the towers. Members of CMU are mid at the moment. Red is going to want to look for a turn in here, and they might look for it to the bottom. Ooh, Joe does not have an Iron Skin. That is, yeah. It's a good kill there. Good rotation down, but that does leave 5 bot. Oh, but if they catch Stukov out, are they going to catch him? They get the chain onto Tychus, but no. Good Glacial Spike there. Joe almost looked like she was going to get out. And, the words of Al Pacino, just as I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Only, in that case, it wasn't metaphorical. It was very literal. But with that, so 33 on the side of blue. They're really covering a lot of people to the bottom half of this map right now, trying to get vision. But a lot of patience here being shown by CMU. They're going to get their bruiser camp in the lane. And I like this decision. It creates kind of something that has to be responded to. And Trax is going to drop 31 here. Joe can flashlight once, but with everyone else top, this is a... Wow. This is an aggressive decision. Do not know if I agree with ulting in there to stop the turn. Because if you die, they're eventually going to get the turn anyway. And also you die and lose the gems in hand. And, I don't know, just kind of an uncharacteristic decision there in my mind. Really good burrow charge to avoid the Glacial Spike CC chain. Gaz still in the bot, so still sticking with 4-1 split as CMU, now with an opportunity to open the map up a little bit. You do have Dad still here in the middle. They're looking like they want to go top. Right now they're splitting 2 and 2. Here comes a noob now. Gaz, seeing the Joe bot is actually going to go mid. I like that decision a lot. A noob is very far out here. Ooh, good interrupt on the Diablo charge. And here comes the KTZ ult. KTZ almost done with the Blight quest, but despite a really fast start, has slowed down rather dramatically of late. But now going to finish that quest, and in doing so, find an MDC. Falling Sword comes in. Ooh, Diablo went in aggressive, looking for... Oh, the big Gravo Bomb catches 3! Oh my goodness, that Gravo Bomb was amazing. Looked like Diablo was kind of inting a little bit for a second. But then you get the follow-up, and there is the run down by Smart Killer on that Hanzo. And you're seeing the comfort that Smart Killer has on that hero. Let's take a look at that replay. You can see Diablo, you know, stepping forward under tower, looking for the APOC, does die, but man, that Gravo Bomb APOC just getting so much value. And then the chase down on the Joe, gonna make this a 5-man team wipe. Smart Killer getting the finish there. It's well done. And, you know, I talked about this. If you lose all your gems in that 10 to 16 window, you're at a massive disadvantage. And unfortunately for Death and Delay, we are exactly in that situation right now. And so, you know, they've lost all their gems, which is going to be an issue, taking a look at the gem count. But that said, there are no gems really in the hands of Clouded Minds Unleashed. So, not the worst situation in the world, honestly. If they can defend this. It could have been a lot worse. If there were a lot more gems in hand for CMU, if they maybe farmed gems a bit better earlier in the game, this could turn into a double turn. No risk of that happening right now with the gem counts we're seeing. But with that, nonetheless, so... Still see the Webweaver walking up this bottom lane. Now here comes the focus. They're going to go ahead and just get all the forts and get that passive XP. And, you know, the passive XP trickle is very important on this map. Very important because, you know, teams don't tend to lose a lot of soak on this map because of how small it is, because of how the objective forces you to soak anyway. You don't see a ton of miss soak, so any passive XP trickle advantage is going to pay extra dividends. Kind of similar here to what you'll see on like Volskaya, where the passive XP trickle can get a lot of value. As opposed to like a map like Cursed, where if you're behind on XP, you can just ignore 1 or 2 objectives and soak. It's not going to get as much value. There's the Stukov root combo onto Diablo. There's the task wall follow. But that Diablo just proving hard to kill. And it is actually a Nubarak is going to be the first fall. Flailing Swipe here. Oh, Delta Sniper though. That's the downside of Flailing Swipe is, yeah, you can swipe your team out, but then you're kind of like momentarily rooted for a bit. And you see just a great job by Robot Wizard taking advantage of that with the KTZ. And immediate rotation into the boss. You know, you don't have a turn available. And death timers are still short enough that unfortunately you can't really do a fort then a boss as reliably. But I expect to see them commit a lot of effort into opening up the top half of this map. With that level 16 advantage, they can take this fort down mostly before the boss gets here, and then start looking at keep wall. And you're seeing now the defense starting to rally here at the keep wall on the side of Death and Delay, down 2 levels. They need to find 16. They find the root onto Hanzo, but you know the thing about those roots, like they're great, except you're rooted yourself because you're standing still. And KTZ, as you saw, just took advantage of that. But also, I mean, you know, if you get a root without really any follow-up, you're just blowing your big CDs on that. And oh wow, Joe is in an awkward position here. But so is Diablo. There's the Gravo Bomb, but the Falling Sword does secure the kill onto Diablo. So 4v5 managed to find a kill, but without a healer, they're going to have to start backing up here. Cocoon onto KTZ, making sure they can get away. Level 16 has now hit for the members of Death and Delay. So now Stukov finally going to have that super strain. And thankfully did pick it. I'm not going to lie, these days, if this were Storm League, I would have expected my teammate to pick Universal Carrier. I see people pick One Good Spread and Universal Carrier all the time in Storm League, and it just hurts my brain and my soul. Never pick One Good Spread and Universal Carrier. You can go Biotic Armor and Universal Carrier. You can go One Good Spread and either Super Strain or Pox Populi. But not One Good Spread and Universal Carrier. We got a little bit of a bush, but Stukov with those long... And that's where long pitch comes into play. It provides a ton of vision control. Which normally on this map you don't think of as super important relative to, you know, maps like Cursed Hollow, like maps like Sky Temple, for example. But vision is always good. And here it comes a turn-in. So now we do see Death and Delay going to get a turn-in, but there's a lot of pressure on them to get a lot of value on this turn-in, because the fact is they do not have much in the way of backup gems. They have 8 gems otherwise. And, you know, going back and clearing a pushed-in lane is, in my view, not maximizing this objective. Mid lane was far and away the most pushed up, and you had to get value on this objective in terms of maybe pushing in a keep, and I don't like that decision. I mean, yes, it's an aggressive play, but you have to make aggressive plays now. Here comes the Cocoon. Noob goes in looking for the KTZ. The follow-up, though, is not there, and there's the Glacial Spike, and a Noob just gets lit up, and this Glacial Spike doing so much damage here. And, you know, take note, if you see an early Stukov, do exactly what CMU is doing to punish it. I mean, they have picked a comp that just punishes an early Stukov pick, and you're seeing that play out here. you don't have a true cleanse, and you don't have reliable burst healing, especially if a target gets isolated. And they have both KTZ and Diablo specialize in isolating enemy heroes. So now a bit of a desperate situation here. Backs absolutely the wall for Death and Delay here in this week 1 matchup with Clouded Minds Unleashed. CMU with the 20 advantage, as well as with a 2-structure lead. Top keep very vulnerable as well. They're going to go ahead and grab this bottom siege, and they are close to a turn in. They need 5 more gems. They should be able to actually pick those up right here in the mid lane, as there's 8 gems currently stacked up in the mid lane. And there we go. Turn in now available for CMU, and with that level 20 advantage, it's going to be really hard for Death and Delay to stop a turn in. Bruiser Camp going to get grabbed. Diablo going to zone. Good math here. Diablo recognizing his 3 gems not needed. Although KTZ had the turn. That was good math if KTZ turned in. Let me say that my math was fine. I just thought KTZ was going to turn in while Diablo zoned. But here we go with a Bruiser Camp. They have the spell armor. They are now looking to push up here in this game 3. CMU knocking on the door of a week 1 victory. Gonna take up an epic defense. The Tychus Odin blown a little early for my taste, if I'm honest. Key, just to your note, I mean, one of the issues is because they had to pick second, they had to ban Zagara. I mean, that's one of the issues that comes up. They had to ban Zagara. They didn't have a choice. 2 keeps down. Still the level 20 advantage in the hands of CMU. Gonna be a tall task, I think, to get this bottom keep, but they could do it. Big thing that Death and Delay needs to look out for is that Glacial Spike combo, but now heading up towards the boss, which is available, this is frankly a risky call. Death and Delay, though, either doesn't recognize it or is recognizing it too late. So they get away with it. It's definitely a risky call, though. Ooh, Stukov just, that was risky. Oh, Big Dragon's Arrow. They managed to catch out the Tassadar. Anduin using those cleanses effectively. Once again. 5v4, Tassadar is down. Here comes the Falling Sword, looking to engage. They need to kill this boss. Core still shielded for the time being. A noob trying to buy space. No damage onto the core yet. Now finally core starts taking real damage. But they still have all 5 alive, so I think this is pretty safe for CMU to get the win. And they are going to do just that, so CMU getting the victory, getting the 2-1 victory, so no domination tonight. And first pick wins all 3 times. So with that, take a look at those post-game stats. I mean, you can just see, you know, Stukov's healing looks low, but to understand why that happens, it's not because the healing was done poorly. It's just that almost everything on the enemy team counters Stukov. And, you know, when you go for these very fast kills and isolation-oriented kills, Stukov's not going to be able to save targets. And so it was really well done, really well countered. But with that, we will see if we can take a brief break and come back and do an interview. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Nexus Gaming Series. DB Smiley here, and I am joined by Track 6 of the victorious Clouded Minds. There was a typo in the standings at one point. Someone pointed out, so it was Clouded Minds Unleashed. So I assume you all have mortgages. No, Unleashed. But with that, how you guys feeling after that 2-1 victory?
Really good, really good. We got shaky there in the middle, and we kind of regrouped, and we pulled out in the end, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I just right out of the gate walking into this series, and I talked about this during the cast. You guys won the coin toss, chose first pick, and then whoever had the option, whoever lost, stuck with first pick. What's the main reason for that? I mean, is it just Zagara is that strong, or?
Well, right now with Zagara being so strong, I feel like whoever has first pick actually gets to make bans, and the other
Right.
team just has to ban Zagara.
Yeah.
And sometimes Vala, depending on if the other enemy team has a really strong Vala player. So we just stuck with that. Plus, there were some heroes we wanted that they kind of played as well, like Greymane. During the research I was able to pull out, they played Greymane. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it and take it, so we don't have to deal with them having it.
Now, well, let's talk a bit about that, Greymane, because I'll admit, actually, I was a bit surprised to see such priority put onto the Greymane. He's always a strong hero, but hasn't been as common, at least in the season 11 meta. Dropped down to like a 27% popularity rate or something like that, which was lowest I think I can ever remember it being in NGS. What did you see specifically from the Greymane, either from them or from yourselves, that made you guys put such high priority on it?
I just saw that last season. Obviously, it's the first game of the season, you can only really base things on last season and Storm League ranks and things of that nature. And they had a pretty high win rate with it in Storm League. They have a 57% overall lifetime win rate with Greymane, and it was their number one picked hero last season. So that just made me feel like they're good at it and they like it. So why let them have it?
Fair enough. All right. Well, with that, you guys, when you got that pick, picked Towers of Doom. And you broke out a hero that I may have seen you play once or twice before. But it ended up you kind of struggled there. Like, you got the early lead, you got control of bot lane, and then it kind of went against you after a team fight on the bottom. What exactly kind of unwound there for you all in your mind?
In all honesty, in our comms got a little confusing. We've actually started shifting our players around and what they're doing and who's calling, and our normal tank wasn't there, so our shot caller was making a call and some people weren't listening, and so somebody was going one way and somebody else was doing another thing, and it kind of fell apart in the second game. I think we got a little, our britches got a little bit too big for us, and we had to be humbled back down to start listening to our shot caller, and that's what I think, honestly, kind of, because we were winning, like you said, we were winning in the beginning, and then all of a sudden we started kind of arguing. Yeah. And, it didn't go so well.
No, I mean, but I think that's a good point just for everyone to kind of take in, because this happens to my team all the time. Even when not even in a series, just in a single game, if you start like bodying a team early, you can start to see people like get a little cocky and start taking some unnecessary risks, and it can turn around pretty hard there. But with that, I'm actually going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Looked like you guys were having a bit of a hard time early with the wave clear, just with your comp not having a ton of wave clear, but ultimately able to get kills, especially once you got KTZ stacked. And I know you can't see it on my stream because of the delay, but I'm actually playing right now the replay of that team fight on the mid fort, where Diablo basically went in and you managed to get like a Gravo bomb, and then everyone hit their R button, and then Smort Killer does what Smort Killer does on Hanzo and just chase down Ripper, and it was a 5-man team wipe. What kind of like, What were comms like when Diablo is like, yeah, I'm going in under tower. I'm going in under tower and flipping. And like, how do you have the wherewithal for everyone to really? Because it was like the ults weren't hit out of order; they were hit in a very ideal order to maximize value. Like, what kind of wherewithal did that take, or what were comms like at that moment?
Was a lot of Diablo. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
in, and I have to give it up to the dude. Like I said, he's actually our sub,
Mm,
and he came in and he hadn't played with us in like 3 weeks,
yeah.
and he did great with his communication. That's honestly what it is. It was everyone was waiting for Diablo, and we all verbally said, okay, Arrow will go out when this happens. Okay, this will go out when this happens, and we
Right.
just everybody knew what the domino effect was to lay
Mm-hmm.
down their ults, and it just happened to work out in the most beautiful way possible.
Yeah, I mean, worked out very well. Well, with that, congratulations on the 2-1 victory. Looking around the division, and this is, we'll just roll out FIC because obviously they're just alphabetically not ready to compete. Um, what team? I know we're playing next week, and so I'm not looking kind of for, any type of sucking up or anything like that. Like, what other teams in the division do you have your eye on, or are you just taking it 1 week at a time?
Honestly, we're taking it 1 week at a time. The only team I actually know a lot of the people on it are BG Johanna means family,
Mm,
Tetcher and Jinxie's team. I'm looking forward to that matchup, so me and
yeah.
Tetcher can fight in the bottom lane and respect the 1v1 happening. So that's the one I'm looking most forward to, but not because I think they can beat us or we can beat
Yeah.
them, just because I know people on the team and I think it'll be a funny meme, everyone's
Yeah.
dance partying type of game.
They're going to be a tough out. I mean, so last season they ended up finishing kind of middle of the standings, and I know they were disappointed with that. They were in pretty much every series that they lost. I know, like we played like 3 30-minute games with them. They're an absolutely good team. So I think they're very dangerous this season. So it'll be fun to watch them develop. Well, with that, not like those fickers over just memeing with their team name and getting their acronym banned. Hashtag free our acronym. Well, with that, thank you so much for coming in, and I had a lot of fun watching this match. I hope you guys, had fun playing it. And with that, floor is yours for shoutouts.
All right, thank you. And I look forward to playing against you guys next week. Very exciting. Shout outs to all the other Clouded Minds teams. So Clouded Mind After Dark, Original Clouded Minds, and Clouded Minds Beyond. Love the organization. It's a great group of people. You should check out the Discord. Shout out to Deep Fried Ming Balls and Bull Moose Party. I coached both of those teams and they had games. So I'm excited to go back and rewatch those. So shout out to them. And as always, shout out to my husband who supports me and my teammates too. I guess they did an okay job. And of course, shout out to you for casting the game.
Happy to pick it up. Well, with that, everyone, thank you, and yeah, best of luck this season. I mean, not next week, but outside of that, best of luck. And with that, give me 1 sec as I figure out who I want to kick it to. I know who I want to kick it to. Love one of the teams that have been that's being cast in this game is just one of the absolute OGs here in Nexus Gaming Series, Roll One Esports. So definitely stick around for that. I'm going to kick it over to Bankey. It's Roll One Esports versus Knights That Go Bork. They're on Tomb of the Spider Queen right now, so stick around and the raid will take you there. And thank you once again, everyone, for watching. Have a good night and farewell.